Hi everyone, this is Morgan Brueseke. For my presentation, I chose the topic of debunking myths about mental health. Unfortunately, there are a lot of myths out there when it comes to mental health, so it's important that we correct those so we aren't perpetuating any false information. So I'll be going over some of the more common myths that we hear about mental health. So the first myth that you hear a lot is that mental health problems don't affect me, don't affect really anyone that I know. And mental health problems are actually very common. In 2020, it was said that 1 in 5 US adults experienced a mental health issue, as well as 1 in 20 Americans do live with a serious mental illness. So that just shows that the prevalence of these issues are actually very common, and you most likely do know people or multiple people who have mental health problems. Myth number 2 is that people with mental health problems are violent and unpredictable. The majority of people with mental health problems are actually no more likely to be violent than anyone else. Only 3 to 5% of violent acts can actually be attributed to an individual with a serious mental illness, as well as individuals who do have serious mental illnesses. They're actually 10 times more likely to be victims of a violent crime rather than a perpetrator of a violent crime. The third myth is that children do not experience mental health problems. Statistics show that 1 in 6 adolescents who are ages 6 to 17 years old in the United States do experience mental health problems, as well as half of all mental health disorders do show their first signs and symptoms before a person turns 14 years old. So, again, that is in that adolescent range where they're starting to show those signs and symptoms of mental health problems. As well as 3/4 of mental health disorders do begin before a person is 24 years old. So at that point, the set on of it um, is again in the adolescent age group when everything starts to come together for that. Myth number 4 is that people with mental health problems cannot tolerate the stress of keeping a job. Actually, people with mental health problems are just as productive as those employees who don't have mental health problems. And employers have stated that those with mental health problems do have good attendance and punctuality. They have high motivation, they have good work and job tenure, and all of that is equal or even greater than those employees without mental health problems. Myth number 5 is that there is no hope for recovery. Many people with mental health problems can recover completely. They can get better. There are so many more treatments and services and community support systems that we have ever had before. So there are a lot of different routes and options for people to get the help that they need in order to get better and recover. And when we talk about recovery, we mean referring to the process in which a person is able to live, work, learn, and participate fully in their community and their life without any disruptions. And myth number 6 is that prevention does not work and it's impossible to prevent mental illnesses. There are actually many factors that can prevent and protect people from developing mental health problems. Prevention can focus on addressing known risk factors, for example, trauma and things like that, that can affect a person's chances of developing mental health problems. So, as long as we increase a person's awareness, we can then help prevent just by increasing their awareness because it allows them to become aware of their own emotions, thoughts, feelings, and when you're more in tune with those sorts of things, you can catch on more quickly when you notice something being wrong instead of letting it go down the line and get worse and worse and worse. Also, if we promote the socio-emotional well-being of children, having those conversations with children about mental health and their well-being and just their emotions and feelings and having those conversations with them, it can lead to higher overall productivity, better education outcomes, lower crime rates, lower healthcare costs, an improved quality of life, increased lifespan, and improved family life. So there definitely are a lot of different things that we can do to help those from developing super serious mental health problems, and we can like prevent and protect them from those. And there's my reference. Thank you all for listening and watching. Hopefully, you were able to learn something new and we can help stop the spread of these mental health myths.